Hey guys, I'm Coach Ty with MuscleWiki. This is Cheska. Welcome back, Cheska. And we're going over the low bar barbell. Good morning. What does this exercise train? Primarily the hamstrings, glutes, and spinal erectors, your posterior chain. But the good morning and the stiff leg deadlift do something a little bit unique with those given muscles, particularly the hamstrings and the glutes, in that the tension will be at its highest on this move when your hamstrings and your glutes are in a very lengthened position. And there's more and more research coming out that shows that stretch-mediated hypertrophy is very real and that it happens. So putting a muscle under a stretch or lengthening a muscle while under a load is very good for muscle growth. So this is one of my favorite hamstring moves in particular. I strongly recommend it to everyone. However, the form is very specific and can be hard to get down. But that's what I'm here for. I got you. All right, so the setup or starting this move. So first thing is your hands and where your hand placement will be. I would say just use the same grip that you do on your squat because the bar is going to be in a similar placement on your back. So Cheska usually goes about so wide. That's totally fine. Next, we'll sink underneath the bar. Now, this is a low bar good morning. I don't suggest you do a high bar good morning at all just because as soon as you start to tip forward, this bar will go right onto your neck. And that's very painful. So we want to use all this musculature here as a shelf to hold the bar. So from there, you're going to squat up and then take a couple steps out. Now, usually with a squat stance, we're a little bit wider, right? On a good morning, feet a few inches apart, toes forward, because our main focus here is stretching the hamstrings. All right, now we're gonna go into our first rep. So most important thing here again, what you're looking to feel is a stretch in your hamstrings. So there's a commonly asked question, how much should you bend your knees on a good morning? We want soft knees, so we're not in a hyperextended position. We don't want that, so soft knees. And then from there, all the additional movement needs to come from the hips. Now, how low you go on a good morning is also gonna vary quite a bit from person to person. This is Cheska's range of motion. At that point that she's going to, she's feeling that stretch through her hamstrings. Some people will be able to go a whole lot further. Some people will not be able to go as far. It all depends on your hip mobility. So again, you're looking for the stretch in that hamstring. When you feel the stretch, go ahead and push your hips through. All right, let's do maybe two more. Stretch, stretch, stretch. One, last one. Stretch, 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 and two, and rest, okay? And then we're gonna come on back all the way to that flat part on the barbell rack and then sink down. What is the difference between a good morning and a stiff leg deadlift or a Romanian deadlift? Well, anatomically speaking, there's not much difference. Of course, the key difference is where the bar is. You're training the exact same muscles and you're training them with the exact same function, which is a hip hinge. Again, the key difference is where the bar is placed. I would say most people will be able to do more weight with a stiff leg deadlift or a Romanian deadlift movement just because they're holding the weight down here instead of up on your back. However, I, over time, grew to prefer the good morning to the stiff leg and the Romanian deadlifts just because, well, it became easier for me to hold the bar on my rear delts than it was to hold down here, even with straps. Again, that happened over time after experimenting with this move for quite a while. So there is no better or worse exercise. It just kind of depends on which move will allow you to move the largest amount of weight. That's it. There is some fear with this move because you've got this hinge position. So of course, a lot of that tension is gonna go onto your lower back. And also, again, unlike the Romanian deadlift and stiff leg deadlift where you got the weight down here, in this case, you have the weight up here. So there is some fear about the risk of injury with a good morning. But I would say your risk of injury with a good morning is about the same as it is with a Romanian deadlift or a stiff leg deadlift of any sort, honestly. So long as you're keeping your back flat, totally fine. So long as you're creating intra-abdominal pressure, again, totally fine. So just make sure you're still following your very basic exercise form guidelines, and this exercise is totally safe and will blow your hamstrings up, I promise. Moving on to our do nots. We have one that we filmed and that's what I like to call the squat morning, where there's just too much knee bend and the exercise just turns into half squat, half good morning. The more knee bend you get, the less hamstring you'll have active and the more quad. So make sure you keep those knees, again, mostly extended and stretch those hamstrings. Also, of course, you don't want to round your lower back, but I was a little scared to do that myself or have Cheska do it, just in the interest of safety. So don't round your back. All right, folks, that's it for the good morning. Thank you, Cheska, as always, for helping us out. And again, let us know what you want to hear from us next, what exercise you want to see broken down, or any other exercise questions that you might have. I'm here for you. Like, comment, subscribe. Deuces. Yeah.